they simply find the missing number. And that's
the village of Chetapalliam used to be a large cotton and tobacco growing area. Neither of those crops are grown anymore. Outside the village, there are 4 resettlement areas. Their families came from Coimbatore. They'd been living in Coimbatore, living in huts by the side of the road, and those huts were bulldozed by the government, local government, to make way for condo buildings, and then the people were relocated outside of Chetapalliam, but without any facilities in terms of electricity, running water, sanitation, or even a reliable bus service. So it's very difficult for them, and even impossible for small children to get to school.
I started as a teacher of the young, and I've always felt that this is the most important years. If they can get a very good beginning, then they're going to get moving, and their reading skills and all of the skills will develop if they get a good, strong beginning.
சத்துணவு தாங்க இருந்துச்சு, பால்வடி. அங்கேயே போயிட்டு தாங்க இருப்பேன். நான் வந்து ஒரே ஒரு பிள்ளைங்கச்சி கூப்பிட்டு பக்கத்தாலே வச்சுட்டு இருப்பேன். அது இந்த கால் 2 வயசில் உடஞ்சிருக்குங்க, தொடையிட்ட எலும்பு. அதனால யாராச்சும் தள்ளி விட்டு எங்கேயாச்சும் அடிபட்டு வலி வந்துருமாக்கு நினச்சிட்டு அனுப்பாமே இருந்தேங்க. அதனால தான் பிரச்சனை இப்போ.
There were only 2 schools situated in the village. It's just a government school and a small private school. So children were actually had to go to the city, and when we started the school, the demand was very, very high. We would like to cater for the poor children, to give them a quality education, so that when we educate the children, it's giving a good career to the child. He becomes a very good citizen of India, and also it breaks the poverty circle in the village.
a collaborative team works together towards common goals and results, and the team holds the group responsible for the outcomes. So we're all in this together. The result is a change in classroom practice. And Richard Dufour has done a lot of work in this.
We do spend time every year training the teachers and giving them a background on how children learn, how children develop.
And that's our shared reading program. And you saw Anne doing that with a very few children with a book. And so some of them were reading, some of them she was helping with, but she was always asking questions. Yes. And they're reading the same book. Yeah.
The way of reading differs. The way of reading from one person to another differs.
Yes. Yeah, it differs. Absolutely does differ. Basically, we model what we want them to do in a classroom, and that's how we started last year.
So it's a matter of integrating. Instead of teaching separate subjects, you integrate subjects into what we call units of inquiry.
It's very much of an individual-based learning. It isn't always the rows of children in front of a teacher who is filling the empty vessels. It's an education where children are involved. They're invited to ask questions to learn, to formulate questions so that they can move ahead in their own learning.
It generates a sort of an energy to impart this with the children, not by just giving what we already know to the children, but bringing out what they know about the topic first. And whatever they say seems to be relevant. And then we give a good supply of what we know of it, and we get them to activate with the topic, and enjoy when we see the result of it.
எங்களுக்கு சத்துணவு டீச்சரை சொன்னாங்க வந்து இந்த மாதிரி நோட்டீஸ் மாதிரி கொடுக்குறாங்க அந்த ஸ்கூலில் சேர்த்துறாங்களாம்மா நீங்களும் போய் கேட்டு பாருங்க எடுப்பாங்க அப்படின்னு சொன்னாங்க. அதனால நாங்கள் வந்து ஆர்வமாக வந்து சரி நம்ம குழந்தைக்கு படிக்கணும் அப்படின்னு சொல்லிட்டு வந்தோம்.
The children explore the materials or do activities that will help them develop the skills they need in both language and math. They're using concrete objects so that it's not an abstract. They really understand what it means when you take a number of objects and you put them together.
அனிதா வந்துங்க அம்மா வீட்டில் பிரசவம் ஆச்சு, கார்த்தியா வந்து இந்த வீட்டில் பிரசவம் ஆச்சு. அப்போ எல்லாம் பஸ் சௌகரியம்லாம் கிடையாது, அது வலி இருந்துச்சுன்னா இங்கேயே பிரசவம் ஆயிடுச்சு.
When we do the home visits, we find out any family problems. We try talking to them, which does not have an impact on the child. When you have a very close relationship with the family, there's a big difference on the child when it comes to school.
She's been here for the past 7 years.
சொந்த வீடா இல்லை அடுத்தவங்க இடத்துல இருக்கீங்களா அப்படி கேட்குறாங்க. அது சொல்லி
Mother has been staying here.
சந்திரன் கேட்டு அதுக்கப்புறம் கட்டி கொடுக்குறாங்களா?
She's saying that I said after 5 years usually a place like this belongs to them, but then she says she has her doubts whether they will really get this house.
We need to get the parents.
அவங்க தம்பி இருக்காங்க, அப்பா இருந்தார் ஃபஸ்ட்டு, அவர் தண்ணி அடிப்பார் ஃபுல்லாக, அம்மா கட்டட வேலைக்கு போகும். தம்பி 2 பேரும், ஒரு தம்பி படிச்சுட்டு இருந்தான், ஒருத்தன் வேலைக்கு போயிட்டு இருந்தான். வேலைக்குன்னா இந்த ஒர்க் ஷாப்புக்கு இப்படி போயிட்டு இருந்தான். இப்போ அவன் அங்கேருந்து நின்று இப்போ கட்டட வேலை பழகியிருக்கான். அதனால தான் எனக்கு இப்போ 19 கொடுத்து உதவி பண்ணுறாங்க.
What we found when the children were going home at the end of the day, often the parents were not there, and the house was locked and the children couldn't even get a drink. At noon they have a cooked lunch. The children are all vegetarian, they're Hindus. There's always rice, but there's some protein as well. We started giving them a protein snack at the end of the day, and it's amazing the difference it's made.
Right, so there's 6, and here's equals 6. And 2 equals.
You want to paint? Paint. Good for you. Good words.
I remember the first day the school opened, we had a parent meeting, and a reporter came from the Hindu newspaper, and he was questioning the parents, and he asked them, why are you sending your children to an English-speaking school when we're Tamil speakers? And they said, because this is the way they are going to get more education and a better job.
We're trying to enable them to move farther in their lives by giving them really good English and by giving them an excellent education. We don't just teach in English. They do have Tamil every day, delivered by an incredible Tamil teacher.
It's our language, so they must know our own language first. So they must know our language well to speak and to write wherever they go in our own country.
வயசான தாத்தா ஆடு வச்சிருந்தாராமா, ஆடு எப்படி கத்துச்சான், Violet sun.
8 beats.
Children, in my opinion, they want to learn. They're excited about the world around them. So you put them in a classroom with activities where they can do hands-on, where they can actually themselves work out problems. They love it. They just don't, they get totally engaged in what they're doing.
We also extend, like medically, we have a doctor and a nurse that visits the school, and we take care of all the health problems, like if they have any problems with their eyesight or hearing problems, we take them to the specialist.
One of our teachers now on staff is qualified dietitian, so we're hoping to get her involved in talking about nutrition.
And also we help the families with basic, like getting them bed sheets and towels, and we give out medications.
இப்போ எவ்வளவோ தெரிஞ்சிருச்சு. ஃபஸ்ட்டெல்லாம் கையை கழுகாமல் தான் உட்காந்து சாப்பிடுவேன். இப்போ கையை கழுகுறேன் நல்லா. படிக்கிறது வந்து இந்த குழந்தைங்க கூட சேர்ந்து அவங்க படிக்கிறதெல்லாம் அவன் திருப்பி சொல்லி ரிட்டன் சொல்லிட்டு படிக்கிறான். ஆனால் எங்ககிட்ட வந்து அம்மா இப்படி படித்தேன்னு சொல்ல மாட்டேங்கிறான். நாங்கள் கேட்டாலும் அவள் கூச்சப்படுற சொல்ல மாட்டேங்கிறான். ஆனால் குழந்தைங்க கூட சேர்ந்து படிக்கும்போது கரெக்டாக படிக்கிறான், பாடுறான். என்ன நடந்துச்சோ அதெல்லாம் அப்படியே குழந்தைங்க கூட சேர்ந்து விளையாடுறான். என்னென்ன உதவின்னா மாதம் 100 ரூபா ஃபீஸு பரவாயில்ல. எல்லா பக்கம் அதிகமாக வாங்குறாங்க, எங்களுக்கு பரவாயில்ல. துணி எடுத்து அவங்களே கொடுத்துட்றாங்க, அது பரவாயில்ல. அப்புறம் அடிக்கிறதோட குழந்தைகளுக்கு ஸ்வீட் எதாச்சும் கொடுக்குறாங்க, அதுவும் பரவாயில்ல.
This is not a North American school, or a Canadian school. It is a school in India that we want to pass on. We want it to be sustainable, and we want to pass it on so that it's being run entirely by Indians, but with the kind of education that we feel is quality education.
Global Pathways is actually, you can say, it's growing day by day. If you go to see, we just started off with the kindergarten, and now we are in grade 1 and 2, and we're looking at buying land and building. You see the difference in the child, in the education side, and then you see the family being very happy that the children are being educated. They have a very good future. That really inspires you.
அந்த புள்ள வந்து ஒரு போலீஸ்க்கா இல்லை நர்ஸுக்கா எதுக்கொன்று படிக்கணும்னு ஆசைப்பட்றேன், இல்லைன்னா டீச்சருக்கா, மூணில் ஏதோ ஒன்று படிக்கணும்னு ஆசைப்பட்றேன். நல்ல ஒரு வாய்ப்பாக தான் நினைக்கிறோம். ஆனால் எங்கள் குழந்தைங்க கரெக்டாக படித்தா போதும்.
The school should grow large and with many, many branches which will not only give shelter but good fruit to society.
I think there's an incredible need here. What we're doing is a drop in the bucket. We didn't intend necessarily to get into a project like this or to spend 5 months of the year here. But having started it, having been asked to start it, having started it, we're into it. And we've grown to love India, we've grown to love the people. We've become very attached to the families and to the children. So now it's really part of our lives, and I think we're very fortunate.
These children really need this kind of education. So that's why we're here. As I said before, India has always attracted me, and it has not let me down. It is a land of contrasts. It's a land of people who are so friendly and welcoming. At my age, to learn something new is amazing to learn about another culture. I never thought I'd have that opportunity to be able to spend the amount of time in another country, so I feel almost part of it. It's a huge opportunity, and it's a gift. It's a gift. I find it's a huge gift at this age to have that opportunity.